Welcome everybody to the Streakers Island pod. Wait for it. Cast. If anyone's watched How I Met Your Mother, you gotta know that reference. It is I, Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst. You don't know. Wait, Lade. You don't know that reference.
I watch this so religiously. What's the
Legend? Wait for it. Dairy. Marshall. Okay. Wait for it. Erickson.
Okay, I thought there was actually something for the podcast.
No,
I thought there was an inside joke.
No, I don't even think podcasting was a thing back then. But I know I, the self-proclaimed sports analyst, joined by Mr. More for Your Money,
woo,
and Lane Dashing Dashco. All right, we have a great show for everyone today. Of course, the first week of the NFL, and we have a lot to talk about, especially that Bills-Ravens matchup. CFL Power Rankings, they have changed quite a bit from after Labor Day weekend. We're going to dive into that. Jay's update, it's okay. Don't hit the panic button yet, but maybe look for it. And last but certainly not least, one of our favorite game shows, Gas or Ass, involving the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So let's dive right into the NFL. And I think the first thing we got to talk about, I don't know if you boys agree, has got to be Bills versus Ravens.
Oh, yeah, what a game.
Yeah.
The game of the week, saved the best for last. And you know what? I'm going to say this right now. Anytime Josh Allen is your quarterback, don't leave the stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Josh Allen called out the Bills fans for leaving. And then again, Lamar Jackson pushed the Bills fans so hard, maybe he had to leave with for concussion protocol. And Lamar Jackson's got to get a fine for that. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
because the player should be held to a higher standard than the fan yelling at him who's had 27 beers. But
so I have something I want to get off the hop because I think this has to be addressed for this game. There was some controversy, and I want to know what you guys think. So there was two plays, but definitely the second play was more controversial. And I want to know why this was. Like, I thought you could challenge this. Maybe you can't. Maybe I'm missing something. The first play I want to talk about was to Josh Allen. I believe it was like 3rd, 2nd, and 7. And he was running out of bounds, and he went for the slide. He went past the first down marker.
Yeah, I saw that
too. Didn't even get touched. And it was 3rd and 1, and they didn't challenge that?
That is challengeable, in my opinion. That's just bad coaching. I think you're just assuming 100%. You'll get it on a 1-yard play, but that's bad coaching, in my opinion. You have two challenges as long as you get it right, and you won't lose the timeout if you get it right. And again, it was blatantly obvious that it was a first down.
And then the second one, and I want to know, this is the one that I cannot believe, and I want to know what the more boys think. Now, again, this is only like a few plays later. So that happens. Baltimore gets the ball back. They punt the ball down the field, lands right on the 1-yard line, and it literally looked like a hair of his arm. They zoomed in like so close, like so close you could almost see the skin particles on his nose. But they showed, and it literally looked like, I don't know, like that maybe the edge of his elbow touched the line. I don't know. I feel like the Baltimore Ravens kind of got robbed, in my opinion. Like, I understand what they're trying to say, but come on.
The rule is, so the way the rule works, if you slide untouched to the end zone line, it's a touchback. Mm-hmm. His elbow, or as Dan said, his weenus is on that white line. I agree with you, Lane. It's barely, but Lane, if the puck crosses the line by a centimeter, is it a goal? Yes. If that was an offensive possession, that's a touchdown.
But why did they challenge it just to make sure?
Because they would have lost.
And they would have lost 100%.
They would have lost the challenge, and you needed those timeouts, even though they couldn't get enough stops on the Bills' offense. They needed those timeouts in the end. Mm-hmm. My more surprising thing for the Ravens, even though I agree with the decision, even though it didn't work out, was 4th and 3 at your own 40 with around 3 minutes left. A lot of people were yelling at the Ravens to
go for it.
I agreed with punting the ball personally. I just think you needed better punt coverage.
Yeah, it wasn't a great punt.
It wasn't a great punt.
19th yard line.
And you can argue. You can make the argument.
The argument. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are two of the best players in the world.
Give them trust. Trust their guys.
But do you trust Derrick Henry after the fumble on a stiff arm where he just shouldn't be making a stiff arm play in that situation? You've got to be running the ball with possession there, because Lane, in the NFL, in 4 downs, you can blow 2 minutes. So even
I
if they
know.
don't get it, they could have blown 2 minutes off the clock, roughly. And if they do blow that 2 minutes off the clock, the Bills probably don't come back in this game. Like,
That's
maybe
what I
they
mean.
still do, because it's Josh frickin' Allen, who is an MVP from last year, showing why he was the MVP last year. But at the end of the day, Derrick Henry can't make that mistake. And the Ravens defense, I don't know, but every coverage they were running just wasn't working. I don't know if they needed to blitz them more. I don't know if they needed to run more of a man zone mix. And again, I'm not an NFL junkie the way I am as a CFL junkie, but like, I do just wonder, did the Ravens need to run maybe some exotic blitz packages? Because Allen was just reading everything at the line with precision.
Oh, for
Well,
sure.
as much as I'm mad about it, I do want to ask you guys. I know I'm getting a clown book for this. I got to wear my gas ass in a minute. But like, it just felt like, what are these Ravens doing? Like it was like the last three.
Are you not a Bills fan?
I don't know. Oh, I didn't. I will say this: I get mad about the Leafs. I get mad about the Blue Jays. I get mad about the Ticats. This is the one sport that I get to sit here and just eat my popcorn and go, "Ooh, oh, first down, okay, ooh, first down."
So you're nobody fan.
The NFL is my favorite sport, literally, because it's the only sport I can sit there and I go, my team is losing.
Oh yeah, okay.
Fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. That's one of my favorite things about watching a CFL game versus like Edmonton versus Ottawa. Let's say two teams that like I don't really care what happens. I just watch a really entertaining football game.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. But no, like the CFL, I got the Ticats. Like I got Tim White, who's my mortal enemy. Last year, Mitch Marner was like my mortal enemy, and he probably hired security. I heard because of me. And then we got the Blue Jays who can't.
Speaking of that, Lane Dashko was not the one who doxed Mitch Marner's address online. That was not Lane dashing Dashko.
Don't know where he lives, and I don't want to know. But not like I'm not a Bills fan. I just really don't care.
Fair.
My point was just that. So I wanted to let me hit my gas rush because it does involve my question.
So are you saying you want to start off everyone's favorite game show, Mr. Dashko?
I do. James Cook was not worth the contract that he got. Gas arrest. I just watched this game. I don't care what you say. 13 attempts, 44 yards. He got a touchdown. He was not the star player on the Bills. The star player is Josh Allen. The receivers are way better used. That guy had the ball in his hands more times than I can count. I just watched Derrick Henry run up and down the field 1,000 times, get over 150 rushing yards. He is not on the same level. He's not. He's not on the same level as Saquon Barkley. He's not on the same level as...
He's not paid the same as those guys, though.
But he got a huge extension.
He did.
Huge.
But
I don't think
Lane...
he's worth it.
I'm going to say...
Look at 44 yards.
Yes, because I can kind of see your point, but I don't completely agree with you. I think it's too early in the season to tell, and he did also have 58 receiving yards, right? So you got to look, combined rushing and receiving, he had over 100 yards tonight from the line of scrimmage.
How many did he have? 58?
Pardon?
How many did you say he had?
58 through the air. 44 on
102.
Yeah, 102.
And, Derrick Henry, sure, phenomenal game. 18 carries, 169 yards, funny number, 2 touchdowns, and a fumble.
Now, maybe I'm just salty because
I'm just saying, and a fumble, right? So sometimes it is worse when you make the big mistake, even if you've made all these phenomenal plays all game. Like if you look, let's say Josh Allen tonight went 30, instead of going 33 for 46 and 2 TDs, he went 32 for 46, 1 TD and an interception. We wouldn't be going on that he just showed why he's the MVP, even though he still would have put up it in almost 400 yards, right? Sometimes the mistake is bigger than the greatness, if that makes sense. And that's what Derrick Henry was tonight. Yeah, he had some phenomenal plays, but in the fourth quarter, when they just needed that run game to dominate, Derrick Henry kept getting stuffed in the backfield. He fumbled the ball. It's.
I just thought it was weird when the Bills really needed the point. Now maybe and again, I want to preface this. I lost $440, so I'm a little salty. But I did find it a little interesting that when the Bills were down by 15 points and they were throwing out everything they could, you know who they didn't have on the field? Mr. Cook. They had the backup running back.
Because he has better. Because he's a. So the backup
care.
running back who did drop a touchdown in the end zone, but he also played wide receiver in college.
Right.
I'm just saying.
So I think that's more the outlook. Mind you, I think Cook should have been
there.
in there instead of the backup running back, because maybe Cook makes that catch.
But Cook was in the other drive right after, because I know it's the same thing. I'm like, why is Cook not in? But then he was in the drive right after and ended up getting the game-winning move. So I'm going to say ass, because we're very early in the season, and he's not getting the same money in the same term as Barkley and, Henry. And what?
He's pretty high, though.
He's in the top 10 in salaries. And if we're halfway through the year and he's not on pace for 1,000 rushing yards, then Lane, I think I would be changed. I think then I'd be agreeing with you. I just think right now, to preface what Dan's saying, I think we're just too early in the season, and the Bills were playing from behind since the second quarter.
Oh, I knew I was going to get the circus
really run it, because the NFL, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get flack for it. Now I sound like Luke Wilson, but with 40-second play clocks, when you're down, you almost can't run the ball.
I know.
With 40-second, I hate the 40-second play clock. Give me a 30-second play clock in the NFL if NFL fans need more time to have to go grab their beer from the fridge. Give me a 30-second play clock instead of a 40.
I think
we would get more NFL games like this one. Everyone's so excited, and let's be honest, on the CFL, this is a regular Saturday.
Yeah. But so I knew that was a bad one, because like I said, I understood I was going to get the circus books. I kind of just wanted to get my frustration.
To go into this year, I thought this Cook contract, I thought it was a little much on the term they gave him. So like I said, time will tell with this deal.
But I do have an actual real gasser ass. Again, I have another one. Now we're calm, we're cool, we're collective, everything. Go back to yoga class. Okay, we're back. No, just kidding. But no, seriously, gasser ass, what? It was this defensive coordinator for Baltimore doing. Hello, they've run the shotgun play the last 30 plays. Should we adjust our defense at all? No, let's just keep letting them get 15 yards. Like, come on, bro. They're running the same play over and over and over and over. I felt like, is my TV broken, or am I watching the same play? It was the same play. It was shotgun formation. The defense is sitting back like, okay, 15-yard catch. Okay, go to the line of scrimmage. Shotgun formation. Oh, everyone's sitting back. Like, where's the blitzing? Where's the pressure? What are these guys doing? They're just letting Josh Allen have fun and be like, woohoo! And
well, yeah, because the problem is Josh Allen is it's like Lamar Jackson. You blitz him and he escapes, he takes a huge run. If you don't blitz him and drop in coverage, he rips your coverage apart. So but I do agree with you, Lane. If I'm a defensive coordinator and my coverage is being ripped apart like that, I'm throwing a blitz in somewhere at some point to try to slow him down.
I mean, I know you can't, but you got to try something.
But you have to try. I'm throwing you have to do something, because with the Ravens were outscored in the fourth quarter 22-6. That doesn't happen in the NFL.
That can't happen. I'm sitting there
like
watching.
Then you hear on TSN after, just I feel bad for the Ravens. I don't. I feel they had a 15 or 16 point lead and they just blew it. Like, Dan, how do you feel on this, Dan? Like, are you agreeing with Lane about that, or do you feel more like you feel bad for the Ravens because they just couldn't get the job done?
I say gas with Lane. I agree with him 100%. You're a professional coach there as a defensive coordinator. It's your job to figure the stuff out. It's your job to do the research. It's your job to watch the tapes. And if they change the play halfway through the game, it's your job to figure that out. And he obviously did not figure that out. I say arguably defensive coordinators wanting people to blame for this loss. This is the biggest comeback win for the Buffalo Bills since like the 1970s when they did a 6-point comeback win against the New York Jets, right? So it's like, I agree with Lane, gas 100%.
You know what the funniest thing about this whole thing is, and Jacob's going to get a good laugh at this, I know, because I know he's going to agree with me. Luke Wilson, right, went on this big-ass crybaby rant about, I can't criticize the CFL or someone's going to punch me in the face. But how come he's not criticizing that?
I said the same thing.
He says he wants to criticize all these players. If Bob Dice does that in the CFL, he'd be like, well, I can't say anything. So you're allowed to say something, and you still didn't. And you went on there and said, oh, the CFL, we can't criticize it because it's a fun sport. It's not a legit sport. But yet, where was any of that credit? I didn't hear.
Well, I was waiting for it too on the Lamar Jackson 30-yard scramble when the Bills didn't put in a quarterback spy. I'm like, where's the rant on the terrible coaching? I heard we watched a little bit of the post-game show with him, and there was one small rant he had about coverage with the Packers versus the Lions on a throw from Jordan Love, and that was it. Like, I thought this Bills game, personally, I thought he could have been complaining about defense on both sides of the ball and not making adjustments early enough. The Bills finally made adjustments in the fourth quarter. But go ahead, Dan.
Let's just be honest here. Before Luke Wilson was on TSN, has any of us heard about him?
Lane is so distraught about that comment. He is just running away to go find his Luke Wilson dictionary. But yeah, Dan, in all honesty, like when he was a decent player. But I think the issue is, Dan, and I don't know if you agree with me, but I think it's Luke Wilson thinks he's like the Tom Brady.
That's what I'm trying to get at. You keep interrupting me. It's like, Luke Wilson, everyone thinks that Luke Wilson thinks that he's this big shot. Okay, before he was on TSN, probably 95% of Canadians have never heard from him, okay? Then he comes on TSN and he thinks he's a big deal for the CFL. TSN's fighting for the CFL deal, so we add Luke Wilson to the panel. Oh, how fancy dancy. And then he put him his cute little show in the NFL pregame. It's like, okay, if like you compare Luke Wilson to other NFL pregame shows, I guarantee you no one even knows who he is. Well, that's why he can't really run his mouth, because apparently in the NFL, he's kind of a nobody. Just gotta be straight up.
Well, he thinks he's Tom Brady, let's be honest.
But he's not.
You know, I'll give credit. Everyone, I will say I watched a bit of the game today with Tom Brady. He's drastically improved.
Oh, he has.
No, he has.
You got to remember, look how even, a lot of commentators to start.
He's not Tony Romo, but I'll give him credit today. When I was watching the game he was covering today, I think it was the Bucks game, the Bucks and Falcons game. I gotta admit, like the things that he was coming up with, the things that he was saying, I was like, man, I've really noticed the improvement in it. He really feels like he's finally found his groove in that commentary booth. He's starting to get his groove in there. He's starting to find places to put his knowledge in. I was like, man, I'm really noticing the improvements in Tom Brady.
Well, you know what it is, so Lane, and I think you'll have an interesting perspective on this. Think about when you first started doing commentary in junior hockey. And you've made improvement as you do more games, you get more reps, and you do a couple seasons of lacrosse, you get more experience, and then you continue to improve. I think that's what it is of Tom Brady. He's working with professional broadcasters, he's working with producers and scriptwriters and all these people who will help him improve. And now Tom Brady is getting better because, like him or lump him, the man knows football, right?
He does.
So it makes sense that he would get better. It's like you look at, I think of another perfect example is Enoch Mwamba on TSN. He didn't know where to look when he first started broadcasting.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he got better. He kept improving, and now he's really good on the panel.
Then you get people like Ty Domi that last one intermission.
I don't know if you knew that, Lane. Ty Domi was once a panelist on TSN and didn't finish the game.
Really?
He was on for one intermission. He almost dropped the F-bomb 4 times, and they took him off. But speaking of dropping the bomb, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. And as much as I hate to admit it, now, okay, when I'm seeing people saying Aaron Rodgers for MVP, I'm like, oh, wait, he's not winning MVP. He beat the Jets. Good job. But he beat the Jets.
No, he
You know
did
what?
good
22
today.
for 30, 244, 4 touchdowns, although one touchdown was just. But at the end of the day, he still did it, right? He had
was
a
impressive.
very good game against his former team. Now, obviously, if you listen to his post game, I think he was very motivated to play the Jets. I will be very curious to see what he's like next game when it's not against the Jets.
I think he'll be fine.
He seems like a guy in that interview was more about him than the team, and that is still a concern with me.
Okay, but hear me out, Jacob. In order to prove his point about, because the Jets said he's too old to play football, okay? So in order to prove the Jets won, he can't just win one game. He's got to do good in the season and make the Steelers to the playoff land. And I think he'll do that. Like I said, I think he'll win at least 10 games.
Unpopular comment, though. Justin frickin' Fields.
He played great too.
For 22, 218, 1 touchdown through the air, 48 yards on the ground, and 2 TDs on the ground. I'm sorry, but Justin Fields is showing, I think he's capable of getting this team some wins.
He is.
He's very capable. No, he's not going to do what Aaron Rodgers does. You look, the combined yardage between Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields. Justin Fields actually had more yardage when you combine rushing and passing. Yeah, I get winners win and losers lose. But all I mean is I think the Jets, they're not looking to win a Super Bowl today. Or no one can win a Super Bowl today. But you know what I mean? They're not looking to win the Super Bowl now.
Well, it can't imagine.
Right coaching, you will find Justin Fields to be a very good, not great, but very good quarterback. Sort of the mobility of a Josh Allen with not quite as much arm strength, but still enough to move the ball down. He actually was moving the ball downfield. He hit some explosive plays. And that was always his biggest problem in Pittsburgh. And in the Jets, maybe they're like, look, just go out there, be you. Obviously, what Aaron Rodgers did was impressive, but I am more surprised of Justin Fields going out there and I think going shot for shot with Aaron Rodgers.
I agree. That was a huge shock and huge accomplishments for him. Good job. Do the Jets still have Adams?
I think Garrett Wilson's their main is their top receiver now. No, they don't have Adams, but Garrett Wilson.
Adams got moved on. My bad.
Did have 95 yards and a touchdown, and the running game too. Breece Hall with 107 yards on 19 carries. I think Justin Fields and with like a 2 combination running system could be like what the Ravens do. Maybe not to the extent
it's good.
Of what Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry do. No, but they did put up 32 points against a team that is known for their defense.
Yeah.
I think the Jets in a loss will take a lot of positives. I think the Steelers out of a win will take a lot of positives, but realize that defense has got to get better. I'm just very curious to see, because we saw this of Aaron Rodgers last year. He'd have his moments, but he couldn't put it together for a full season. I'm waiting to see when he's not playing the Jets and he's playing the Seahawks next week. Will he have the same?
That'll be a tough game.
Go out there and do it.
Seahawks will be tough for competition for sure.
Well, I'm not saying that. I think it'll be just as tough. But like, what I'm getting at is, will he have the same? Aaron Rodgers is me, not we. Will he have the same oomph? In that post game, talked about look at Josh Allen has the game of the of the week, and all we can do is talk about his field goal kicker.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference, right? I'm waiting to see, can Aaron Rodgers do it when it's not.
Now, hold on a second, Jacob. We only saw the little portion of the post game at TSN Short.
I've seen enough comments though on the entire post game on social media, and that's a lot of the comments that are going around.
By the way, I did not know he signed with the Bills. The Bills probably the best field goal kicker of all time.
Yeah,
and the crazy thing about him, he only got there on Thursday and then went out there and went 3 for 3.
He's a legend. He's a legend.
But no, Dan, I will say right now, Aaron Rodgers looks great. I'm just curious. It's like Trevor, again, I don't mean to keep making comparisons in the CFL, and I don't mean on attitude, but I mean at age. Look, Trevor Harris's numbers are drastically slowing down as the season's going longer because of his age. Can Aaron Rodgers do that for a full season at his age? It's like Joe Flacco, too. He puts up amazing numbers for a couple of weeks, and then Father Time catches up.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. But another big question I have from this week, and Lane, I think this is one that you really wanted to talk about, is what the hell happened to the Dolphins?
Yeah, like
They only put up 8 points, which were all in the fourth quarter. Tua can't even hit 130 yards. 2 interceptions. Meanwhile, Daniel Jones goes 22 for 29, 272, and a TD. Danny Dimes shows up. Zach Wilson gets some reps at the end. Like, I think there might be some trouble in Miami because I don't think the Colts are a good team.
They're not. This was not a team.
Like the Dolphins couldn't really run the ball. Actually, their running game was okay.
It was all right.
Tyreek Hill only got 4 targets for 40 yards. Waddle, 4 targets for 30 yards. I don't know, man. I think if you're in Miami right now, I'm legitimately concerned. Just like your next game's against the Patriots, which is an equally mediocre team.
Terrible.
So, like, Lane, what do you think happened here?
I think there's locker room issues, right? Like, you already heard Tyreek Hill kind of being like, I believed in the preseason he was kind of like, deuces, like I don't really want to be here. There's some sort of drama. I think he request a trade or something in the preseason?
He did, and then he changed his mind. Then he apologized. Then Tua straight up said, "Well, you got to earn that apology."
Yeah, so
remember, words are one thing, action something else, right?
So you're already starting off on a bad foot with your star receiver doesn't want to be there. As much as I love Tua Tagovailoa, unfortunately, he's got this really weird career where I felt like, and it sucks because, I think this guy definitely is an MVP quarterback, but he's at the point where he's taken so many injuries. I just don't know if he's going to get to that level. I think he'll be a B- quarterback, maybe a B+ on a good day. I just never think he'll get back to that A-S tier quarterback. And it's not because I don't think he has the talent. I just think he's had too many hits to the head and too many, he's been brought back. We've talked about this on the show, right, where you bring a guy back too soon because they just relied on him when he wasn't clearly healthy. And, one more hit, and he could be retired just like the rumors about Zach Collaros. But I just feel so bad for that guy because I know the talent's there. I know it's there. But it's just the injuries. I think he suffered too many. I just don't think he can get to that tier.
Mind you, I never thought he was an S tier, but yeah, I do get it.
I did.
I never thought he was a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, but continue, Dan.
Call me crazy. I'm sure he's a great person. I'm not calling him out as a person. I never fully believed that he had the franchise capability style quarterback.
I agree with you.
To me, he was more of a highlight quarterback, right? More so than a franchise winning quarterback. And I feel really bad for him with all the injuries that he has had. No one wants to wish out anyone. But at the same time, it really made me question last year when he refused to wear the Guardian cap. I mean, if you have those type of injuries and you're known for it, there's these great technologies out there, and you even have Yossi or even his own family was saying, "Oh, we want you to be safe. We're worried about your future, more so in the game." Okay, so you got this great technology. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe you look like a muffin man, but who cares? Just put the bloody thing on.
And I will say, to your point, Dan, we're seeing more and more players in professional football wear these Guardian caps, whether it's the UFL, XFL, CFL, or NFL. We're seeing it every game. We're seeing multiple players wearing the Guardian
I would. If I had if there was a technology there that could keep me safe. It's like with hockey with the neck guards. There's a very rare situation, but we've seen people almost spread out because of escape weight. If you can wear a neck guard that can save your life, I get it. I get the visor is controversial in hockey because of fighting and different things. Okay. But for neck guard, that's more than just a black eye. If that vein cuts the wrong way, you're dead, And I look at the Guardian, I think it's the same with a Guardian cap. We know the NFL has a major problem with concussions. We have this great technology that can save people's lives. Put it on.
What are we looking at here, Lane?
I just want to look at it. We're not looking at this ad. I don't know why that
dog looks pretty cute, though.
I'm just saying, you literally look at this guy's stats, and this is a guy who gets consistently hurt. 2020, only plays 10 games, 1,814 yards, 11 touchdowns. Comes back the next year, 13 games, 2,653 yards, 16 touchdowns. Yeah, the 10 interceptions is kind of bad. But then look at that following year, Comes back again, another 13 games,
like that.
3,500 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He comes back the next year, actually plays a full season, 4,624 passing yards, 29 touchdowns. Like, this guy, you're crazy if you don't think this guy's.
And how many wins did they get out of that?
Okay, so Lane, what I mean is, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but like, to me, there is a group of 4. And he's not in that group of 4.
But he could have been.
And that's not me criticizing him, by the way. But he's not as good as Josh Allen. He's not as good as Lamar Jackson. Yeah. He's not as good as Patrick Mahomes. And he's not as good as Joe Burrow. Most players aren't. But I would say in that next tier, like, I think there's an A and A+++ tier. And then there's an A tier. I think Tua Tagovailoa, if he could have stayed healthy, could have been in that A tier.
That's what I'm trying to say. I
think he was quite as good as those other guys, because I think those other guys can win games on their own, and I think Tua is a very good quarterback, but I don't see him doing what Josh Allen, Joe Burrow with no offensive line, and Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes do. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying we'll never know, because I think
it's unfortunate. You're right. We will never know because of the injury.
Because I think he did have that potential.
But I think he did. Just like Justin Fields, we got to give some flowers to Daniel Jones, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying the Dolphins played well, but Daniel Jones took advantage of that, and who knows, maybe the Colts found a half-decent quarterback at a very low price.
Definitely a statement game.
It's a statement game, right? I mean, some of these other games in the NFL, there's not much to say between like the Panthers and Jags, Cardinals and Saints.
Yeah, the Washington Commanders, some credit. They won again.
Commanders smoked the Giants, and I think that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Really?
I am surprised that the Bengals only scored 17 and only let the Browns score 16.
Oh, what we got to talk about? We got to talk about the Green Bay game.
We'll get there, Mr. Moore.
Oh, okay.
But, like, I am surprised, as I was just saying about Joe Burrow, awfully quiet day for Joe Burrow at the office, only going 14 for 23, 113 and a TD. And Joe Flacco did Joe Flacco things. 290, 31 for 45, a touchdown, but also 2 interceptions that probably cost you the game. But I think if you're the Bengals, you're hoping that offense wakes up, because you're built around offense. You're not built around defense. But I mean, 49ers beating the Seahawks, there's no surprise there. Raiders, Patriots, let's be honest, nobody really cares. I guess the fans, besides the Patriots and Raiders, we love you anyways. But yeah, Dan, why don't we get into this Packers-Lions game? And I think Micah Parsons just made the Dallas Cowboys look even dumber.
Yeah.
He dominated this entire game. Jared Goff still put up okay numbers.
Yep.
But I mean, he just was... You were double, triple teaming him, and it didn't matter. He would just go out there and rush the quarterback. And it
was amazing to watch. And I think this was the missing piece of Green Bay.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I think this makes Green Bay a legitimate contender I know it's only one game, but I think the Green Bay Packers are now Super Bowl contenders.
They look like a contender today.
A couple years past, I thought they were good. I didn't think they were a contender.
Green Bay was always very close. They would always get eliminated in that second round kind of thing. But now they look like they can make the Super Bowl. You look at Jacobs, you look at Love, very good.
You're missing one thing, though. I think I could be wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. I think they're missing one thing. If they were finger 11, if they could trade it all away for one thing. That one thing, I think they need like a star receiver. And if
I agree with you, actually.
For sure, they are missing that.
But I'm just saying, if Tyreek Hill wants out, Green Bay should be like getting the money and being like, "Hey, come here." Because if
they need a little more Monopoly money for that,
they need a little more than $10. But
my point is just that
I agree.
I'm impressed if you got $10 on you.
If they could somehow land Tyreek Hill out of
Miami, over there.
If that relationship goes sour, oh my goodness! Like, I just think they just need that one guy that can go over there in that receiving court to just give Jordan Love.
Jordan Love's got the arm.
Yeah, he's got Tucker Kraft. I think their tight end's good. They got Josh Jacobs. He's a running machine. He usually gets a touchdown almost every game. You're set there. Jordan Love can throw the ball. I just think they need that one receiver.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That just can make that crazy catch when they really need it.
Call me crazy, but I think every team needs a star receiver is the Bills. I could see the Bills going after
they
him.
don't.
The Bills are built
I said that
around get
earlier,
it to
but
who's
no.
open. They had the star receiver and Stephon Diggs, and it made the team worse. They're built around get it to who's open.
I would agree.
I disagree with you, Jacob. I think if they had a star
that guy.
I think if they had that star receiver, it could have made the Super Bowl last year.
I don't think so. I think the Chiefs just
I don't know. Beat Philly. I don't know. Philly's a good team. I predicted Philly right from day one last year, and they won. So that's pretty cool. But
I'm going to say this: maybe CD Lamb becomes available if the Cowboys go 4-5, 2-6 kind of.
Well, I don't think the Cowboys. I don't even doubt. Wait for a second. Yeah, the Cowboys. I could see that. Lamb looked a little off that game too versus the Eagles. They looked like they weren't really communicating quite right with the routes and stuff.
And then obviously, we had Texans versus Rams, which was kind of a snore fest, a 14-9.
There was a few snore fests today.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. That's kind of the NFL. You get a couple really good games, but you also get some games that just not a lot happened. CJ Stroud certainly did not have a great game, only going 19 for 27, 188 and an interception.
I was kind of surprised because he was okay last year.
CJ Stroud, though, he seems to start slow. Matthew Stafford, at the end of the day, 21 for 29, 245 and a TD. Like, Matthew Stafford's the age of slow under, and honestly, any team Matthew Stafford is on, I will support.
Yeah.
But what I do support, one more quick gas or ass before we move on to Monday Night Football.
Gas arrest. The disrespect for Jayden Daniels, that's got to stop, man. I cannot believe when I was sitting there, making my picks, and I saw the Giants to be favored to win. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, what are we talking about? Well, Russell Wilson and Jayden Daniels. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, and you know what? I'm gonna say it here, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this. I think Jayden Daniels, not yet. I think he has the potential to be the next Mahomes, the next Allen, the next.
I agree with you.
I agree with you. 100%.
I don't think he's
what he's going to do in the playoffs as a rookie and a sophomore. Yeah, I personally believe Jayden Daniels will be the next superstar face of the league.
How could you sit there with those two rosters? That guy who took a team almost to the Super Bowl and be like, "Oh, the Giants are favorite." What are you talking about? They're going to get I knew they were going to get massacred.
Yeah,
and they did. I mean, like, Russell Wilson didn't have a great night. Jayden Daniels continues to prove people wrong.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Can you imagine how the Bears feel picking Caleb Williams over him too?
Yeah,
let's just be honest. I mean, Caleb Williams, and let's get into that Monday Night Football. We have two quarterbacks here.
Well, look at Shaquille O'Neal when he owns part of that Washington team. He said they made the right pick.
But, I mean, we look at this. We look at these two teams. You got J.J. McCarthy, who I think has a lot to prove considering they let go of Sam Darnold to bring him in.
Yeah, that's
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Not that Sam Darnold had a huge night in his season opener going 16 for 23, 150 yards and a loss to the 49ers, but Sam Darnold did a lot of good things on the Vikings.
He did.
Yeah, he had a great year last year.
And now you have a guy in J.J. McCarthy who didn't play any preseason games this year.
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie.
Weird.
You're going against a Bears team that I think is hungry because people were expecting a lot more out of them last year that they just didn't get. Look, I think for the Vikings, there's a lot of pressure on them to make sure they're good.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel
I agree with you, Jacob, 100%. It's like that's why I'm picking the Vikings to win for Monday Night Football. It's like they got a lot to prove.
Well, let's actually grab our. I don't know if Lane's going to cry.
I've grabbed my pillow because unfortunately, I think this game's going to be a bit of a
snore fest.
I don't know what it is. I just think I'm looking at two offenses and are like. I mean, I know Justin Jefferson's there and Aaron Jones, but a rookie quarterback who hasn't had reps, is he really going to be able to go up there and really sling it to those guys and make that team good? The Bears have been a team that's like they're up and down. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they can barely get points. I don't know. I just feel like we're going to be – we just watched an amazing game, and we're going to come into Monday Night Football, and we're all going to be like, was this game over yet?
But do you know what can make Monday Night Football even more exciting, Lane?
What's that?
Do you know what it is, Dan?
Oh, I do.
It's the Streakers app. So let's grab our cell phones and lock in those Streaker picks. You guys could see Dashing Lane Dashco jamming out to the music.
Oh, I thought I do it in the background. Hopefully Jacob never shows it because I never know. He might surprise me with this.
Oh, I think he might.
But let's jump right into this Monday night football game. And again, this is the best way to make sure it's not Snorefest is to grab your Streakers app. But who's winning it? Vikings or Bears? I'm going to start. I don't like Caleb Williams, and I've made that clear to people who know me. I think he's got an attitude problem, but I do think the Bears will win this game. They just have a little bit more experience at the QB position. And I think Caleb Williams did show progression as the year went on. And yeah, I think I don't have high expectations for the Vikings this year, so I'm taking the Bears.
Wow.
Lane?
Well, I think Minnesota's going to get schooled.
Oh.
They're going to get schooled. I'm also taking the Chicago Bears, baby.
Ouch.
Mr. Moore, do you think we're crazy?
Yeah, the way I look at it, someone's got to win Rookie of the Year. And with Caleb Williams, he definitely wasn't the Rookie of the Year last year. And have you guys ever heard of something called a sophomore slump? I think that's what we're going to see in Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Connor Bedard.
We're going to see a sophomore slump. Minnesota still has some great players like Jefferson, for example, arguably one of the best receivers in the NFL. Is. Okay, so yeah, I think Minnesota's going to win this game hands down, bro. So I'll challenge you two to rivalries. Let's go.
Wowzers.
Oh.
Elaine's going to beat me up over it.
Yeah.
But
what's a
now
rivalry?
Let's get right into our custom props before I get a black eye from these two. Mr. Moore, do you think the Vikings can get a combined 88 yards rushing as a unit?
Oh, yeah. Fourth down's more of a running game, right? So I'm going to say yes.
Mr. Dashko, can the Bears force at least 2 turnovers on a rookie quarterback?
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
And I am taking J.J. McCarthy to have a decent game, and I have a stat line for 225, a touchdown, and an interception. I think he'll be okay, but I don't think it'll be enough.
No, it's nobody's hitting that.
Well,
cool.
That's because you're hitting me.
He's not hitting 225. You're crazy.
Maybe I am, because in the CFL, 225 is nothing. Maybe that's a lot. But I've...
well, again...
Josh Allen hit 394 tonight. You never know.
But Josh
but then you can't compare J.J. McCarthy to Josh Allen.
I know. I'm just saying, crazy things can happen.
Please don't be like TSN and try to compare. When they're trying to say Aaron Rodgers could be this year's MVP over Josh Allen.
No, well, I don't know.
But let's get into, we do it for the CFL, so we got to do it for the NFL. It's time for yes or less. And I've set this at 43.
Ooh.
Less.
I'm going to say less.
I'm also saying less.
Yeah.
I think we'll be hitting around, I would guess, mid-30s. I think there's going to be
rookie quarterback, sophomore quarterback, good 2 defensive teams. Going to be a running battle. Yeah, I'm going to say less.
But now it is time. Before we do, originally, I'm going to give you guys a little secret. I was going to do a gas or ass coming up next. But instead, I am so excited to go over the CFL Power Rankings that we're going to hold on the gas or ass for a little bit. So clench those butt cheeks. You can't fart yet. And let's get right into the CFL Power Rankings.
That song always scares me. It scares me more than Mitch
It scares you, Lane. You never know where I'm putting your Tiger Cats, but I've moved them up to 2.
What?
Saskatchewan Roughriders at 1. Hamilton Tiger Cats at 2. Calgary Stampeders at 3. I almost put them down to 4, by the way. Edmonton Elks 4. Toronto Argonauts 5. Ottawa Red Blacks 6. Winnipeg Blue Bombers 7. BC Lions 8. Montreal Alouettes 9.
I think this is pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I agree with you this time. I have no complaints.
And I do.
This is bang on.
As much as you guys have no complaints, I'm still going to defend the picks anyways, because that's just how I roll. BC Lions are at 8 because they let Ottawa score 31 points in the second half of a backup quarterback. Dustin Crum just ripped them apart. Actually, Dustin Crum, in my opinion, was the player of the week.
That's a game that they're going to regret losing.
Calgary Stampeders, I actually think there might be some trouble in paradise. And
I know you said that.
I putting them at third. I think I'm being a little generous. They're just there because of the overall season they've had. But honestly, the way they played against Edmonton, and the way Dickinson pulled Adams out, Adams wouldn't stand near any of the other players. Neither would Dietrich Mills. There could be some trouble in paradise. The middle of the pack, I'm finding the most interesting between Edmonton, Toronto, and Ottawa. I think these are three teams that everyone wrote off weeks ago with some really solid play, have found a way to get right back in the race, especially, really all three of them. We all wrote off Toronto when they fell to 2-8. And now they've won 2 straight. We all wrote off Ottawa. Well, they found a way to win a couple games. Everyone wrote off Edmonton when they lost the Labor Day Classic the way they did, and then they basically reversed Uno carded it and did the same thing to the Calgary Stampeders. And right now, I think those 3 teams have a really good chance for at least 2 of them to make the playoffs. Yeah. Winnipeg and BC are the 2 that I'm a little more concerned out of these. Montreal, I think, is just a dumpster fire until they get a quarterback. Yeah. But you look at Winnipeg, we don't know what's going on with Mr. Claros, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the show. The BC Lions defense can't get a stop. Yeah, I really think this is the chance for Edmonton, Toronto, and Ottawa to all make a real push.
I was going to say, no, we didn't really get to focus on that game Thursday because we were all crazy busy on Friday. But, that can't happen. If you're BC, you had that brutal game against Toronto where, it was a back-and-forth sling fest, whatever. But you got to find a way to win that game against Ottawa. You have to. That's unacceptable. I'm sorry.
Well, and no disrespect, Lane, but I don't think you can call Nick Arbuckle a backup quarterback anymore.
No, I said the one they lost to Ottawa.
No, but at first you said you lost to Toronto. Sorry, I thought you said they lost to Toronto a backup quarterback.
No, I said a sling fest.
A sling fest, yes. But I will say though, I think we got to give Dustin Crum a lot of credit in this game, even as a backup quarterback. The only quarterback hit 300 yards this week, went 24 for 32, 301 yards and a touchdown, and 69, great number, yards on the ground and 2 TDs. Without Dustin Crum, you don't win that game. But the BC Lions, letting Ottawa put up such a big second half, 13 points in the third quarter, 18 in the fourth.
That's bad.
There's a lot of concerns about this defense. And Ottawa made the critical error when Pimbleton did the crackback block, which forced them to have to punt the ball, and BC still couldn't do anything. So I'll be honest, if Montreal had a quarterback, I'd be putting BC at 9 right now because their defense is just horrendous.
It was
I don't know
bad,
if the offense can quite fix that defense.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do.
Hamilton is, I'll be honest, and Lane, I don't mean this in any disrespect. Hamilton is in second because Calgary was terrible.
True.
Yes, Hamilton won the game. It wasn't their best game of the year by any means, but they found a way to get it done in the rain. But for me, with how bad Calgary played, and I think the potential issues in that locker room. Luckily Calgary has a bye, so I have some time to fix things. But right now, for me, Calgary, there's concerns, and in Montreal too. If Davis Alexander isn't back soon, they're in jeopardy of missing the playoffs.
And I'm going to say, I've said it a few times on the podcast. I'm saying it here. I'm going to stand by my comment. I'm going to stick my sword in the ground. I think they know something about Davis Alexander that we just don't know. I think it's not good news. I don't think they want us to know. I don't think they want the public to know. I think they're trying to hide it. I think they're going to keep saying he's coming back, but I think this is a Chad Kelly situation, and they're just we might as well just play Captain Morgan and forget about this year and just try to get him ready in case we need him for next year. Because the way they have played the last 2 weeks, it has literally felt like they just were here you go, I got you a birthday gift. Here's the win. We don't really care.
Now, mind you, Montreal's defense, I think, is playing still like a tier 1 defense. But let's be
Garbage is
honest.
horrible.
Like, we're not going to get too much into week 15 yet because we more will do that on Thursday. But Montreal will probably lose to Saskatchewan. And if they
100%.
do, and Toronto beats Edmonton, all of a sudden Ottawa beats BC. All of a sudden, there's a 3-way tie for second in the East.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So things for Montreal are about to get very dicey, especially considering they play Toronto in 2 weeks.
Because, again,
But
why are they not
I
playing
mean, you know
Cameron
what?
Hughes?
These are the power rankings, and I'm sticking to them because I think I got them bang on. Lane, where do you think they are? You think they are?
Bang on, baby. And
They
in
even
front of my
cover
face.
your face. Mr. Morfor, are these power rankings bang on?
Yeah, for once you finally did it right, Jacob. Good job. Usually fight you every week. No, you gotta wait this time.
You gotta put it on Dan's face too, not just my face. At least my face is good looking. Bam!
Oh, out.
Oh, I'm just kidding, Dan. I love you.
Now it's on everyone's face.
Oh,
but those are the power rankings. I don't know why Dan's kissing the power.
I love Wayne.
Oh.
But now it is time for gas or ass. Let those farts go during the bump, everyone. At some point, I need to record the back end of this on my phone just so you guys can see what's going on. But gas or ass? Zach Collaros played his last snap of the season.
gas.
Ass.
He was knocked out.
Pourquoi?
Means why in French.
Yeah, I know, because he's Zach Collaros. I said it on the post-game show after the Banjo Bowl happened, and I'm sticking to it. I think TSN was just looking for good TV, and they blabbered on where they don't know anything yet. Okay, we don't know anything. He walked off the field on his own power. I think he took it I think he took a safe route because of his age. It doesn't mean his career's done.
His career's done.
I'm not saying his career's done. I'm saying I think his season might be done.
Yeah, I think he's coming back this year.
Left in his contract.
I think he's coming back this year. I really do. He was up to that hit. He was playing really well.
No, he wasn't.
He played really well the week before.
Hold on. No. If you remember that.
What are you crazy frog or something?
Thank you, Lane.
Crazy frog.
Catches the reference right away. Dan, Zach Collaros was playing dreadful before the injury. Zach Collaros, are you ready for his, according to you, is playing well stat line?
Are you ready for it?
9 for 15, 165, 1 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was playing bad.
He's been tier 3 quarterback.
The team was winning.
No, they weren't. They were losing.
Or what?
It wasn't because of him. If they were winning, it's because of Willie Jefferson the last 2 weeks.
Oh, no, Willie Jefferson was terrible. Actually, the main guys who really got everything going were Pokey Wilson and Nick Dembski, who both had a hell of a game.
Oh, no, I don't think he's done for the year.
The reason why I think he might be done for the year, let's say he's out 3 weeks, hypothetically, and Dan's already fallen asleep because he thinks my take is so bad. But let's say he's out 3 games.
Yeah, I really do. I think you're boring.
Let me say he's out 3 games, and they lose against Hamilton, Ottawa, and then Hamilton again. And let's say all of a sudden BC or Edmonton keeps rolling. You've lost 3 games to the East, so you're not in a spot to get a crossover. Edmonton's continued to roll, and you're not going to make the playoffs. You're probably going to look elsewhere at quarterback because there's no backup plan right now for when Zach Collaros retires.
Well, you guys laughed at me. I said on the island here, if they lost the Banjo Bowl, the season was done. You all laughed at me. But here we are.
I'm saying it might be done if Collaros is out long term because I don't have a lot of faith in Chris Streveler, and that's nothing personal. I know he's won 2 games this year, but he can't do enough, I don't think, to win consistently. I don't think they can do enough to beat Hamilton this week.
That'll be a tough one.
I don't think they'll be able to do enough to beat Ottawa the week after. And if all of a sudden you lose 2 teams to the East, let's say Edmonton hypothetically, and no offense, I hope they don't, but let's say hypothetically they beat Toronto and then they beat Hamilton, all of a sudden Winnipeg's on the outside looking in.
Yep.
And same with BC. If they hypothetically beat Ottawa, and then they're probably not going. Well, they might beat Calgary. Who knows? All of a sudden, these standings getting really close. All of a sudden, Winnipeg could be the odd team out. And if they're going to be the odd team out, Zach Calero certainly isn't your long-term future. So maybe you
Gas o ass.
Let me finish,
and
then I'll roll the bump. But let me.
A gas o ass with the gas o ass.
Maybe it's time for Winnipeg to start looking at future options.
Jacob kind of took the words out of my mouth, but after Winnipeg losing the Banjo Bowl and losing Banjo Bowl as they did, is this the end of the dynasty and the start of a rebuild? Gas o ass.
Was never a dynasty, so I got to say ass because it was never a dynasty in the first place.
Oh,
a dominance, not a dynasty, in my opinion. I don't think a dynasty is 2 out of 5.
What do you say, Lane?
Well, I didn't get to answer the first part of the gas or ass, but I was going to say I agree with Jacob. I do think that the first part of it is gas because I actually had a concussion, and I don't even have one as serious. This guy got knocked out cold. It was like he literally went to bed. So I don't think he'll be playing. I don't think he's going to be back in game shape in time for the season to matter. They probably won't even be in the playoffs. So I'm going to say gas, and I'm going to say also ass to yours. I don't think they're a dynasty, but yeah, I do think it's over. Whatever it is, it's over. I think it's done.
Wow.
I do think Winnipeg will be in a rebuilding mode, though, Dan. So I'll say it's a half gas, half ass.
In my opinion,
start buying Grey Cup tickets now because they're going to start going cheap.
If you want us opinion, I think these players will not be on the team next year.
Okay.
Brady Oliveira.
Okay.
Bye. I think Willie Jefferson's going to be like, I want to move to a Grey Cup contender. And I even see Nick Dembski being like, I'm out. I think all 3 of those guys will not be a Blue Bomber next year.
Wow, I can see
the
that
too.
The
only thing that'll help keep those players around, at least 2 of them, Nick Dembski and Brady Oliveira are both from Manitoba. They have played with each other since high school.
True.
So I think Willie Jefferson, I think he's more up to just retire.
But he was complaining, remember? He said, I'm not getting my touches, right?
Which he's right, he's not, but it will be interesting to see what happens there. And obviously, if you're looking for more of a breakdown on Week 15, we will be giving that much more on Thursday. But I want to quickly go over those games because we do have some great games coming up. Friday, we have a doubleheader between Winnipeg and Hamilton, and then Ottawa and BC. And then Saturday, we have Edmonton versus Toronto and Montreal versus Saskatchewan. So you do have to look here. Playoff implications in this week, besides of Montreal, Saskatchewan, there's not as much playoff implications there just because those 2 teams aren't chasing each other. But Toronto, Edmonton, and Ottawa, BC are all battling for that final spot in the East because of the crossover. But at the same time, Montreal could be battling for that final spot for that second, might be in that similar situation to Winnipeg soon just because they've lost 5 straight.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting. Interesting to see what will be happening over the next, as everyone says, the season starts at Labor Day. And because of teams like Toronto and Edmonton and Ottawa and teams like Montreal and Winnipeg really struggling, the season now has started.
Yeah.
Right? The scripts have been flipped. Ottawa and Toronto and Edmonton have found a way to string enough wins. Cody Fajardo is turning out to be what everyone thought he would be. And I do want to state that quickly. People to complain, well, Cody Fajardo didn't do much against Calgary, but he did enough.
He have to.
I mean, Justin Rankin, what a game he had going
200.
Going off over 200 yards on the ground. None in the air this time, which is odd for him being the team's leading receiver on the field going into that game, which is crazy when you think about it. But Cody Fajardo, sure, 16 for 21, 153 and a touchdown. It's not that exciting, but the one touchdown pass he threw was the dagger in that game. Right. And that's what I talk about. It's not always how big of the numbers you have because Vernon Adams threw more yardage.
Add to it. I gotta give.
Terrible.
At
the end of the day, it's not always about the stat line you do. It's when you do it. And they got the one touchdown to put the game away. But go ahead, Mr. Moore.
So I was just going to say when we remember, I got to give a shout out for the Argo and Edmonton game. I remember it because Edmonton is visiting the Argos on Saturday. And it's a kind of unique game. It's a tribute to John Candy, legendary actor and who also was a former owner of the Argos. He was a big reason to save the Argos, as the Argos almost went bankrupt in the 90s, and he co-bought the team and saving to keeping the CFL. So good on him. And we always talk about reasons why to go a CFL game. The first 5,000 fans into that Argo game that's getting a custom John Candy Argo cert, which is really cool. And I want to give a shout out to TIFF, because it's the Toronto Film Festival going on next couple of weeks. And just Jacob reminded me, is actually a documentary running about John Candy at the Toronto Film Festival. So if you're into something else different besides the sports, the Toronto Film Festival is right on King Street, nice and easy to get to, and nice to support local film. So get out to that.
I do want to quickly mention, by the way, I know this isn't CFL, this is back to the NFL, but TSN just broke this 20 minutes ago. The statisticians are hard at work at past 1 a.m. local time. The Bills made NFL history. They're the first team in the NFL to come back from 50 points down of under 4 minutes left and win in regulation in NFL history.
Wow.
However, this does bring me back to my point, how the 40-second clock ruins football.
It does. I agree with you.
Because in the CFL, that's just a regular game. Yeah. It gets exciting, don't get me wrong. But congratulations on the Bills for being the first team in NFL history to do it. But the NFL, Roger Goodell, if you're listening to me, please, 30-second play clock.
I agree.
I think it would literally fix the NFL's...
I would even do 25.
Some people feel the 20 seconds is too fast. Go to 30.
I get that, so do it 25.
I'm just saying 30 is right in the middle between 40 and 20.
Yeah, for sure.
Make everyone happy. Look how happy Lane is that I thought of it.
Oh, yeah.
Lane, smile. Bigger. I can't. But speaking of bigger, the playoff race has gotten more exciting and tighter after the Yankees did win the series over the Toronto Blue Jays.
We got one win.
They got the Jays. Thankfully, the Jays got one win. Remember, the Jays won the season series, so it's almost like the standings show they're 2 games ahead. They're basically 2.5 games ahead because they own the tiebreaker.
Right.
But I am going to do something very weird with the Blue Jays, and I'm going to try to be like Dan, except I'm not going to drink out of a Harvey's cup without a lid on it. And we're not sponsored by Harvey's, but we could be. And I want to talk about the positives. I thought this was the best series the bullpen has had in a while. Mm-hmm. Jeff Hoffman played well. We had good innings from multiple relief pitchers, and they kept them in some games. I thought starting pitchers, even if at times it wasn't great, they found ways to keep the scores within reach. Same with Scherzer today. Yeah, he didn't even get through 5 innings, but he found a way to keep the game within reach the whole game he was in. Mm-hmm. And again, at Scherzer's age, I don't want him playing a crap ton of innings. I still think he should be in the bullpen. Now I'm going to go back to what I'm usually like with the Jays and talk about my concerns. And I have one big concern. The offense.
Yeah, exactly.
It concerns me when we can put up 7 in one game and then 5 between the next 2.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? We have 4 between the next 2. Even worse. I just want some more consistency from this offense, and it is a little frustrating, and I don't know if you boys would agree with me, and I don't care who takes the baton and runs with it, but I wish all 3 phases of the baseball, we always talk about 3 phases of football, I just wish all 3 phases for the Jays could click at once, and we're not getting a lot of that of late.
Jacob stole the words right out of him. I was just going to bring this up, right? Just feels like we're right back to where we started before July, where it's like, if the hitting's good, we don't get the pitching. Pitching good, we don't get the hitting. If the hitting and pitching are good, the field's making errors. I know it's going to happen, but it does feel like this team's in a bit of a rut. I flip-flop more than Dan flip-flops about at least half the time about this team. One minute I'm confident, one minute I'm like, they're gonna blow up. Next minute I'm like, they're doing pretty good. I've been flip-flopping a lot. I'm going to flip-flop again. I am worried about this. This offense is cooling down just right when you need it. Just like they say, birds hibernate in the fall, and they're starting to hibernate already.
Wow.
I mean, luckily for the Jays, they do have a day off, and they're coming back home. Unlucky for the Jays, they got to play the Houston Astros, who are a very good team. Who are coming off a bit of an odd series for the Astros against the Rangers, right? Where it's in the best of 3. The one game they won, they blew them out 11-0, but then they lost the other games 4-3 and 4-2. So the Astros are coming off some weird games. The Jays are coming off a tough series to the Yankees, so maybe this can be a nice bounce back for them. Maybe this is where they get all 3 phases going. You're back home.
Take a pill, then they bounce back.
Exactly. Except they don't need to take pills. They can't even find parking. Never mind finding pills. But, maybe this is a chance for them to bounce back, right? And if you can bounce back here and take 2 out of 3 against the Astros, it could put you in a better position, right? And because you got to remember to close out the month. Now, this isn't for a little bit. This is until the 23rd, but you do have a 3-game series against the Red Sox as well, right? So you'd really like to try to get that lead enough where maybe that Red Sox series isn't so critical. So it'd be really nice to see if the Jays could win 2 out of 3 against the Astros. Then they got 3 against the Orioles. If they can win all 3 against the Orioles and then at least win, and then again win at least 2 out of 4 against the Rays, then they're putting themselves potentially in a good position, right? So they do, after this Astros series, you do have 3 easier opponents in the Orioles, Rays, and Royals before the Red Sox. So the Jays are still in a decent spot.
The only thing that scares me is the only thing that really terrifies me, and it's not even Halloween. The one thing that does scare me is that the Jays really do really, really bad against the Orioles and the Rays. It feels like those 2 teams, no matter what's going on, always seem to be like the Jays' worst nightmares.
That's true. We got bad history, especially the Orioles.
I don't think they even beat the Rays once this year.
Yeah, but you know what? Again, though, good teams do it in September. So we'll find out if they're a good team.
Yep.
Let's be honest. We'll find out if they're a good team. We'll find out if
Tampa and Baltimore are definitely not good teams. They have no chance of getting in playoffs at this point.
Yeah, but you know what they say, Dan?
It's fun to play spoiler.
Yeah, look at the White.
Yeah, that's true.
I was watching the White Sox today playing the Tigers. And it's like, when you got no pressure, you're just going up there playing ball compared to teams trying to clinch divisions and figure out playoff positions. When you're just going up there, just able to play freely, it's like a different game.
Oh, for sure.
But now it is time. You know what time it is? It's muffin time.
1:42 in the morning.
But it's also time. I get it. Lane needs his beauty sleep. But before he gets his beauty sleep, you got to grab your cell phones again and jump into the street. Big series coming up, and let's start with the first game. Who's taking game 1 of the series, the Jays or Astros? I'm going first. First up in the Click You Claim, but we're not going to sing Tupac. And I'm going to take the Toronto Blue Jays. I really think the Jays are going to win this series. I really do, and I think they're going to start to set the tone off right by winning the first game. Mr. Lane Dashing Dashco.
I'm going to take the Jays because I feel like they have to win.
Whoa, you're going to be Mr. Positive.
They have to win. They literally have to win.
Mr. Morfor.
I agree. It's going to be the Jays. I think it's going to be a big series.
They don't win, I'm going to be really concerned.
Well, let's get into some of these props so Lane doesn't get concerned. Mr. Morfor created some awesome props here in the Streakers app just for
And Lane did too.
And so did Mr. Lane.
Team effort.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Blah, yeah. Yeah. Let's get into this.
Mr.
Dashco. You guys are just keep beating me up. Will the Astros get 6 strikeouts against the Jays' inconsistent offense?
I don't think so. I know this. I know the Jays have been struggling lately to get hits, and I don't think they're going to get 6 strikeouts. I think they're back home. The barn's going to be the tickets are going to be $300. The building's going to be rocking. I'm not going to be there to be yelling at them if they do struggle. I'm going to say no.
Mr. Moore.
Does anyone disagree with me?
Yeah, I see your point. 100%.
I agree with you, actually, Lane. I think the Jays bats are going to get going. And for them to get going, Dan, do you think Springer's going to spring into action and get 2 home runs?
I know it sounds crazy, but I really do. Like the Astros was his former team. And the last few games, we have seen Springer hit 2 home runs in the game the last couple of times. He's hitting at about 27 home runs right now. I'm sure he would love to hit 30 home runs in the year. He hasn't done that in a little bit, like since he's joined the Blue Jays anyway. Last time he hit 30 was when he was with the Houston Astros. So, yeah, I think he's going to hit 2.
And I'm giving myself a tough prop because I've just looked, and the Jays have not announced their starting pitcher yet.
They
have not.
Weird.
Checking on the Toronto Blue Jays website for probable pitchers.
I wonder if it's going to be Shane Bieber.
It's Garcia for the Astros.
Yeah, no,
and the Jays is to be determined, which I don't think to be determined is an actual player.
Oh,
sure.
But I am still going to say that the Jays pitcher will not get to 7 innings.
Ooh,
I find the Jays don't have a lot of starters that seem to go deep besides a Gosman.
Yeah.
I think maybe Bieber might by playoff time, but right now in the regular season, after coming off a Tommy Johnson surgery, I don't see him going 7-8 innings yet. So I think the Jays pitching staff is going to go 6, especially with the bullpen playing better of late. The last series against the Yankees, I thought the bullpen stepped up. So it's time to continue to see if that bullpen can do it. And there's another prop in there. We're not going to tell you what it is. Do you know why? Because you need to download the Streakers app. Create your account. Find out what it is. And if you download the Streakers app, Dan will take you on a magic trip in a hot air balloon between now and the year 2085.
Whoa, I got some time for hot air balloon. I like it.
Got some time to blow it up with all his hot air when he talks about Aaron Rodgers winning MVP.
Oh, come on.
I'm still getting your clown suit ready for you and Mr. Chazzy. Who's, by the way, hard at work at the back end of the Streakers app, right? So just because you're not seeing him here, don't think he ain't working day and night to be making the app better for you and everyone else trying it out. He's still around. He's like John Cena. You might not see him, but he's there.
That's right.
Lane, is John Cena there? I can never tell.
Not sure. Let's see if he's there. Let me check.
I thought maybe his theme music would make him come. Phrasing, boom. But let's now head over to the world of esports. And if you remember last September, and it was last September, but it's just a joke. EA Sports announced that they were going to make a college football video game. Oh my gosh, that was terrifying.
Oh, it's crazy.
If you're watching on YouTube, viewer discretion is now advised.
Did someone play my music?
I don't see you, Mo.
So, do you guys remember when EA announced that they were going to make a college football game?
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, they're not.
Really?
2K Sports is going to make it instead.
Ooh,
what do you mean? What college? Wait, what?
I mean, college basketball, not football.
I was going to say college football.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that already out? Is it
college basketball?
24/7?
The court. And I got to say, I'm disappointed. As much as Take-Two does a great job with basketball in a lot of ways, I really wanted competition. And I was really hoping for 2K to not make this game and have EA make it. Because, man, NBA Live back in the mid-2000s, oh, man, it was awesome.
Yeah, but it hasn't been good since then.
I disagree with you. If you play NBA Live, I think it was 18, it was bone basic, but you could feel the game had a lot of potential.
Was that the game where your best friend, ended it?
Pardon?
Was that the game when your best friend ended it?
No, that's a 2K game. Where you can't mention the word you're about to mention, Dan, on the air, so don't mention it.
That's why I did say.
But I was just really hoping for competition. Now, mind you, as much as Madden 26 is getting mixed reviews, I'm seeing very, very positive reviews from early access of NHL 26, which is really surprising.
Yeah.
So maybe EA is taking their time and just wanting to fix the games that they're working on before they try to get back into the world of basketball.
Yeah.
Or I wonder if they were going to do the basketball 2K said, then we're going to make a hockey game, a college hockey game. And then maybe EA got concerned. I would love a Frozen 4 college hockey game.
Here's the thing. I want to throw this in. I didn't put in this script, but I didn't want to throw it in because we're talking about this. Do you think they're going to have to, especially because we haven't really talked about this, but we're going to have to dive in on this one day. We about junior hockey and this college thing, and now these players are leaving the OHL and they're going to college. What I want to know is the NHL video game really prides itself on on being, especially when you're in this seat, right? You want to draft your players, you want to draft the number one prospect to the Leafs, you want to rebuild the team, you want to trade Austin Matthews, you want to draft Gavin McKenna. Well, this year you can't do that because he's not in the game.
Well, I think that's going to change extremely quick. I think
they're going to have to. Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
I think EA is going to have to pay up and get the rights from the college hockey teams.
But apparently, it's so hard to get these college rights.
I get it, but
they got them for football, so they know how to do it.
I don't think they're in Madden, though. I don't think they're in Madden. I think they're just in the game. They're separate game, though.
No, but you can import any college roster from college football into Madden.
Can you? Oh, that's cool.
Can. I think we have to figure out, and what I talked about this off camera. It would be an interesting topic. I actually don't blame the players for doing what they're doing. Canada, Hockey Canada, the CHL, with the OHL, the WHL, and QJHL have been making millions of dollars of profit for as long as time can go. We went to look at to buy a ticket to the Brantford Bulldogs as our closest OHL team here in Hamilton. Just recently bought the Hyman family. And this was like an end of the regular season game. It wasn't even a playoff game. The cheapest tickets are like $80. And the only thing the players get is they get $10,000 towards their education. They get to live with a surrogate family with their meals provided. And, but we live with a random family most of the time, right? They don't really live with their parents or anything like that. Just the family brings them in, which is awesome, but still. Maybe in college you get to live on residence and kind of do your own thing, right? And they only get paid I know at one point it was as low as $50 a game. I don't know if they still do that. That was a long time ago. But what I mean is you get someone like Gavin McKenna that just signed for over $100K and got his education paid for. So can you really blame the players? Especially when the CHL is making all this money. College is not even making that much money. So they got to figure everything out.
Okay. Gavin McKenna is actually going to make about $700K with all his endorsement deals.
Okay, they need more than that.
Number two, I think what's going to happen is, though, it's tough, though, because the NCAA season's also only 40 games if you can go, if you go far. And they take on bigger rosters. So I think what a lot of these players might happen, they could go over to NCAA hockey and get 7 minutes a game for over 30 games. Then come crawling back to Canada because they need the ice time to improve their draft stock. Time will tell. What I think what's going to happen is I think NCAA is going to take the 15-year-olds-ish, 15, 16, 17, and the 20 to 23-year-olds. I think that will be it. Then you're going to see the OHL taking 19 and 18. And then OJHL is going to be 16 and 17 more.
That's what I think.
And other leagues like the OJHL. And I think, which mind you, may not be a bad thing. If you watch even some Junior B hockey, and hear me out for a second. So hear me out, Lane. Hold on.
I have a theory.
Well, back when I was a wee little lad, I covered the Alliston Hornets at my local community station, which was Junior B at the time. You would not believe the quality of hockey you were even getting at the Junior B level. So maybe we are just going to see more players getting more opportunities, but we may not see as many of these superstars now in these leagues in Canada full time. I think what's going to happen is guys are going to go play in the States. They're going to play their shortened seasons. Then they're going to come to Canada. The only thing I think will happen is you got to look, these guys are getting their education paid for, right? And you're going to these prestigious schools, and a lot of guys who play in the OJHL and these other leagues like that, they're doing that to try to get into a Harvard because there's no way they can get there on their own dime. Look how expensive these American schools are. Now, it's a whole other argument. Some people say college is a scam. I'm not one of those people. But go ahead, Lane. What was your point before I start rambling?
I don't know. Again, as some of you may not know, I am obviously a big follower of the junior hockey as I do work for the Burlington Cougars at the Ontario Junior Hockey League. And I got to be honest, I'm a little bit concerned because I just, I see what the league's selling point was help these kids, if they're, they might be in HL, but they definitely want to be focused on their, their education and trying to get them to be, get them into schools and get them scholarships. I'm just worried that the younger you go, especially I one time even covered a sort of like an age tournament, where it was like 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, and just like the skill gap between now I'm not saying 14-year-olds, but just that once you start going younger and younger and younger, it's going to be hard to sell that to people that want to go on a site like Flow Hockey to pay this subscription fee to watch it when you're going to have to try to go backwards when you got college hockey who's going to keep pushing forwards. They're going to want the deal. Flow, a site like Flow or a site like maybe DAZN is going to want to push them instead of pushing the junior hockey, which is just finances. Like, I don't know all the backing, but just some of the things I've seen just from the kind of the level of the hockey that I was seeing 2 years ago and then last year in junior hockey, where players were like just being like, well, peace out because I gotta go the other shoulder. And I don't blame them. I'm not saying I blame the players. They got to do what's best for their careers. If the OHL is going to give them the opportunity to get the school or get the OHL contract, that's on to them. I 100% I get it.
But Lane, I do want to say though, everything is exciting when it's new, but the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Like everyone's talking about these players getting these huge NLL deals. Well, let's say I'm a third liner on a junior A team in Canada. I'm not getting $700,000 in a full ride if I go to Harvard when I'm 16 or 17, right? So like there is still an opportunity, I think, for junior hockey in Canada. To an esports point, the way Dan said, I do think EA Sports is going to have to work on, or maybe does 2K take this opportunity to get back into hockey and make a college hockey game and get all the rights to these players.
I do have a question though. How can a college sign a 15-year-old? Like, you can't start college till you're 18 unless you're like super gifted.
They can sign their rights.
They can sign their rights, though, and say when they're of age, they are committed to this school.
And the other thing I wanted to point out is, will we kind of see kind of like an NFL and CFL situation where players try an NFL roster, and if they don't make it, they go going back to the CFL? So, you can kind of see that people try an NCAA roster. They don't make it, then go back.
Well, we kind of already see that now between OHL and OJHL. And by the way, when I'm saying this is no disrespect to the OJHL.
Oh no, I love the league. I love it too.
Like I have said this, if you have not been to a junior A hockey game,
it's fun.
Go.
Yeah, it's good.
It is exciting.
I love the
fast pace. Like for example, we take the Milton Menace versus the Buffalo Junior Sabres that happened on Friday night. We had a fight in overtime. We had a double overtime thriller. And I'm not talking like a little fight like you'd see sometimes in the NHL. These guys, because they're desperate for showing off their skills, they were clobbering each other. Like, I mean, junior A hockey is very, very entertaining.
Oh, it is. I love it.
I understand everyone's concern. I just think what will happen, a lot of these players, I think, will go to the States thinking it's better, realize it's not, and come back. And look, again, I'm not going to get into the politics behind it. Dan can roll his eyes because I'm not
rolling my eyes. I'm believing.
But there are a lot of people that don't want to go to America right now. So maybe we're going to see some things on the flip side with what's going on in the world. And again, we're not going to get into the politics of it. I'm just saying that we could see a drastic shift we're going to see a drastic shift in junior hockey. I just am very curious to see, and maybe now we're going to see some players that never got a look. Look at Curtis Joseph, who was never even drafted in the NHL. Maybe we'll find another guy like that who gets an opportunity because there are that many more opportunities out there now.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. So before everyone hits the panic button, I think we're going to have to wait a couple years and just see where we're at. And I don't think these junior leagues are going to be in as much trouble as people think some people may think, because I think there's still a lot of very, very, very talented players. I think there are more talented players than junior teams.
Again, when I say all these things, I mean it out of love and passion.
Oh no, Lane. I'm not taking it as a disrespect.
I love this league. I love covering it. I love
going the Leamington Flyers as a prime example. A junior B team that came to junior A hockey.
Killed it.
Went to the Western Conference Finals and the finals. Well, not quite the finals, but went to the conference finals in their first year.
Even Niagara Falls, took them 1 year, but now they had it like even last year. Like,
pretty good season.
yeah, they were getting players like plucked off their team left, right, which again is concerned.
And again, those were junior B players, right?
But,
so that's all I'm saying is maybe we see some guys who could be good enough to be in junior A that just weren't getting an opportunity. It's kind of like I don't mean to always bring this back to the CFL, but Dan already did, so I can. Look at Cody Fajardo being a backup to start the season and Nick Arbuckle potentially being a backup to start the season. It's not because they weren't good enough quarterbacks. It's because there were only so many starting quarterback positions. And I think maybe in junior hockey in Canada, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see players who weren't given an opportunity to get up to junior A just because there are only so many spots, only so many junior A leagues. And maybe now we will see them getting that opportunity. So I'll be honest, I'm excited to see what happens in junior hockey over the next couple of years. And I really hope that I'm right, not just because I'm an intelligent person, but because I want to see junior hockey thrive.
The only thing that's good about this, and I will answer Dan's question a bit because I know he did ask it, that because I have a little more insight on it. A player, if they do decide to go to the OHL, like let's say a 20-year-old, for example, and they do think they can try to crack, they get, and I think I'm pretty sure an 8-game trial before they can be either signed or be put back to the OJHL. So if you're like a 20-year-old and you're thinking, well, I have a chance to go play for the Brantford Bulldogs, you might get 8 games. You might get taken away from the rights to the OJHL. So someone on Leamington might get a trial run. He'll get 8. They can put him up 8 games throughout the year. But if let's just say things don't work out, he's always got the rights, and there's always players' rights. So that is one good thing. Like I know for the team that I covered, there's still some guys that we don't have on our lineup right now necessarily, but the room is there for the guys to come back. So there is some positivity that even if they do go try, like Jacob said, maybe they go try it, doesn't quite work out. Doesn't mean that they don't want to be there, but you might get those players back, and then voila, all these people that you thought weren't going to play on the teams and weren't going to be there, they end up back on the roster.
It's kind of like Graham McCauley last year, played most of his season in Milton, but did get a couple games in Mississauga in the OHL. And if you're an NCAA, you're not going to get that opportunity to bounce between the two leagues to showcase as much. That's all I'm saying is maybe I think you're going to see a lot of guys jumping. You're going to see a lot of guys jumping now. It's kind of like how do you remember when the XFL first opened up again and quite a few players from the CFL went to the XFL or the UFL? And then what did they do next year? They came back to the CFL. Yeah. I think we could see a similar case of NCAA in the States. But Dan, go ahead.
The other thing I just want to point out too is the CHL, just say we're kind of like the mafia of the hockey business. I mean, all the scouts pay attention to the CHL. All the TV deals with Sportsnet and Rodgers, all CHL. So if you play like Brantford Bulldogs or the Barrie Colts, especially London Knights, you're getting national television coverage for a lot of it. You're getting arenas to hold anywhere between 3,000 and 9,000 people. You're getting NHL scouts watching every single sip, right? So you're not getting paid the same amount of money as you are in NWCA, but you're getting a lot of perks. And that's the CHL's argument for not paying these players as much. And that's why you see people coming into the CHL.
But that's changing a little bit, though. You look at guys, honestly, ever since Tyler Bolzak came in through the NCAA system, you are seeing more and more scouts going to look at it. Look at Matthew Nyes. Look at Lane Hudson. I mean, Team USA. Yes, look at Lane right there. But look at Team US. Look at Hockey USA, right? They do it all through the NCAA programs, and their junior teams are some of the best in the world. So, I mean, all I'm saying is, though, I wouldn't hit the panic button yet. I think you got to wait a couple years and kind of see how this plays out.
Okay, Lane Hudson, all that cute, but don't compare like someone like Sidney Crosby.
Dan, no one compares to Sidney Crosby, but Lane Hudson compares to a Cale Makar.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Whoa. You're telling me that Lane Hudson doesn't have the potential to become a Cale Makar?
He had a cute rookie season. Well, let's see how he does.
Oh, my. Lane, slap him for me.
But I did have a question, and it's actually related to Lane Hudson, so I know this is off topic, but I did want to bring it up. Did you see Lane Hudson said that, if America don't want him, that he would gladly play for Canada? I thought that was crazy. He was like, if you don't want me, fine. I'll go play for Team Canada. I thought that was
wowzers.
Does he have dual citizenship?
I guess he must, because I've never heard. I gotta say, for all the times in America, American players will all be like, "I'm playing for Team America. I'm playing for Team America." I have never heard an American be like, "I'll go represent the red and white." I was like, "What? I thought that was wild."
Well, it doesn't happen because they're usually not good enough to make Team Canada, right?
I think Wayne Hudson is, though.
Oh, for sure.
For at least for a seventh defenseman to run a power play.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Hudson and McCarr running a power play together?
That would be pretty crazy.
Let's go Hudson, McCarr, Crosby, McKinnon.
If I'm Team Canada, I'm jumping on that. I'm like, yeah, come play for him. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Well, another player.
Curious to see what happens.
Another player I think could do it but won't will be William Nylander. William Nylander.
He's not going to play for Team Sweden.
No,
I get that. But William Nylander has dual citizenship because he was technically born in Calgary,
and he would absolutely make Team Canada if he wanted.
And he would. I think he's that talented, but it's no way he's going to play for Sweden.
Voted as the best player in Sweden.
Yeah, he is.
He's gorgeous, as Dan likes to tell us on the daily. He literally would just randomly, after he's done texting us pictures of his toes, he'll tell us that William Nylander is a great player. Speaking of Dan's toes, I think it's time we wrap up the show so he can soak his feet in some nice hot water. But before we go, Mr. Moore, for your money, what is your island mindset? I really hope it's not about feet.
No, he said I've read the script. It's about an RV.
Okay, we'll go.
Okay. Well, I see your reaction. I said RV, but anyway. So we all saw the situation probably in the Philadelphia Miami game where a guy hit a home run and a father went to get the ball for his son. Well, this crazy woman who looks like her name is Karen. I don't know if it is, but it looks like it is. Well, we all got a minute. They all went to the father. That's my ball. You took my ball. Started yelling and screaming at the guy when he poor kid there. So the guy did the right thing and gave up the ball. So the lady got her ball. Well, that's all fine and dandy. So the camera people caught it, the whole situation, and the Philadelphia team, Phillies, thank you, actually gave the kid and the father a prize pack with some balls and jerseys. Stuff was awfully nice. When the player, what?
So did Miami. I want to show this out while dancing. Miami also did there's a video up there if you don't believe me. The Miami.
I don't believe you.
The special teams went. They actually came to a seat, and I believe he got a signed jersey, a signed baseball from the whole team. He got like a bunch of Miami. So they stepped up big too. I want to give them a big shout out.
100%. Thank you, Lane. That's amazing, So it's just really nice to see. And then the player actually met with the boy after and gave him a signed bat, which was awesome. But then what Lane found for me, amazing, I forget the guy's name by life for me. I had it up on my computer and I closed it, so I apologize. But a CEO of a RV company saw the situation. His last name started with an L. I remember that. And
I'll get it.
Yeah, he actually is paying for the father and son to go to the World Series, gave them tickets, and he even gave an RV for them to drive to the World Series in. So I thought it was this amazing move from everyone, from Philly to Miami to the company of the RV company owner, CEO of the RV company, So what I was trying to say is, even if it seems situation seems bad at a time, Marcus Lemonis. Sorry, wow, long night. Anyway, so huge credits to Marcus there, and even sometimes the situation seems bad, and sometimes it's the right thing just to give up what you want because something better is around the corner. So
things happen for a reason.
Exactly. Strongly, I think everything happens for a reason.
Very true. Everything happens for a reason. And you know what should happen? You listening to the Streakers On podcast. And the reason being, we're a pretty fun bunch. But it is time this fun bunch wraps it up and goes to bed so we can have Captain Crunch before we get our work days going. So thank you very much for, I don't know if you guys eat Captain Crunch. Lane?
I don't eat cereal at all. I don't like cereal.
I don't either.
Okay, but we could be sponsored by Captain Crunch. Give us a call.
We could. Get out,
1-800-StreakersIsland.com. Our phone number is a website. Thank you very much for watching the Streakers Island podcast. Looking for more content, make sure you go to all the social medias. And if you're looking to play along with us, make sure you download the Streakers app. And if you have any questions, message this guy right here, Mr. More for Your Money. Look him up on Facebook, Instagram, and he will help you out because he knows the app upside down and backwards. And if he doesn't know, he will find out the answer. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, we will see you when we see you. But John Cena will never be seen. And on that bombshell, good morning, everybody, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
But you can't see me.